So bore da bawb, mae'n dechrau efo'r datganiad arferol, sef bod y cyfarfod yma yn ei wedd lledydd gyda'r gar ar-lein yn dweud ymlaen. Sa'n ydych yn hapus gyda hyn, gadewch y cyfarfod. So, eitem gyntaf ar y cadeirydd at yr Pwyllgor. Ac yn nifer o ymwybyddiadau, ond dim ond un enw, felly gai gysawu fel agentys.
Lost the translation.
Cyfieithydd.
Yeah, I think Ryan's station.
Ryan.
Oh, back again.
Yeah, back again. Maybe just a bit.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Pobl clywed o'r un o'n di. Iawn di. Ysych chi gyd yma, diolch fawr iawn am yr anrhydedd unwaith eto. Dwi'n wedi bod yma ers dechrau'r Covid, dros 2 blynedd. Reit, dwi'n wedi gweld y blaen yma. Ys bart ydi o fan hyn. Da iawn. Reit, is-gadeirydd.
Unwaith eto, yn enw, felly cynghorydd June Jones.
Iawn, croeso June.
Diolch yn fawr.
Ymddiheuriadau anwen.
Oes. Cynghorydd Williams a Sarah.
Pwy arall? Nag oes, datgan diordeb.
Os gai ymddiheuro, fe rhaid mi adael y cyfarfod i fynd bach cynt, Mr Cadeirydd, os dwi'n iawn, ydych chi diolch fawr.
Gadael yn gynt, ie?
Gadael yn gynt.
Gadael y cyfarfod yn ddi am ag yn iawn.
Iawn.
Diolch fawr a croeso nôl, Elwyn.
Iawn, diolch Elwyn. Cofnodion. Neu gynnig bod nhw'n gywir, so yn eilio. Pawb yn weld. Mae'n cofio'r cofnodion gyda chi?
Na, ddim byd i adrodd gymol.
Oce, diolch fawr iawn. Penodi aelodau i wasanaethu'r paneli ymweld.
Ie, fel ydych chi'n gweld, cadeirydd, mae yna yr un grwpiau fel arfer. Mae'r enwa gyd yna, un serwag fel ydych chi'n gweld yn y grŵp o gogledd ar hyn o bryd. Felly, ydych chi'n hapus i aros fel ydych chi, jyst fel yr argymhelliad.
Sarwn yn cynnig, o'r un aros fel deni? Pawb gydweld? Hynny, iawn, diolch fawr iawn chi. Ymlaen wan i Aberdyfi. I ddiw teras. Gafin fan hyn, ia? Oes o Gafin? Ddim wedi gweld ti o'r blaen, ond ddim cael sgwrs ar y ffôn. Mae dy Gymraeg di gwella gyda llaw. Diolch i ti.
Just one housekeeping matter to draw members' attention to before I begin, which is the retraction of the Community Council's comments in respect to this application. Okay, so this item relates to a planning application by Abu Dhabi Ice Cream Limited in relation to Unit 2 Wharf Gardens in Abu Dhabi. The application is for the installation of bifold doors in lieu of a sliding window and extending A3 use to the outdoor area for consumption of food and drinks purchased from the property. The case has been referred to the Planning Committee in accordance with the scheme delegation because the building which is subject of this application is within the ownership of the authority. The application site is located centrally within the settlement of Abu Dhabi in the key area to the south of the A493. Land uses present here are primarily municipal and commercial in nature. Public toilets are situated to the northwest of the site. Abu Dhabi Outward Bound Centre and Yacht Club are located to the west, and the Harbour Master's office is located to the northeast. The application site is within the Abu Dhabi Conservation Area. Several local traditional buildings and 3 listed buildings are found to the north of the A493 along the designated retail area frontage. The estuary to the rear of the site is designated as a Ramsar site, NNR, SSSI, SAC and SPAR. Gwynedd is the statutory harbour authority for the Abu Dhabi Harbour and the owner of the wharf. The application site comprises Unit 2 Wharf Gardens, a circa 8.5 metre squared undercover area to its rear and circa 14 metre area of harbour land to the rear of that. Unit 2 forms part of the Abu Dhabi Tourist Information Centre building owned by Arori National Park Authority. It is leased from the National Park by tenant Abu Dhabi Ice Cream Limited for A3 food and drink use to supplement the revenue income of the site. The rest of the building is operated by the National Park Authority for its original intended use. Tourist Information Centre building is a predominantly single-storey modern structure. Unit 2 is located at the southwest end of the building and is accessed from Seaview Terrace by a glazed door on its northwest front elevation. There's a sliding window hatch on its southeast rear elevation facing north. This is a northeast facing perspective looking towards the Harbour Master's office, and a southwest facing perspective looking towards the lifeboat station. The drawing of the rear elevation of Unit 2 illustrates the proposed 3 metre by 2.1 metre aluminium bifold doors, which would replace the current serving hatch at the rear. Bifold doors of the same description were approved in 2016 as part of permission for part change of use of the building to A3 food and drink use. Circa 8.5 metre squared covered area to the immediate rear of Unit 2 already benefits from planning permission for A3 use, having been included within this red line boundary plan approved under the original part change of use application in 2016. That's as shown on the left. The principle of development where outdoor A3 use is concerned is therefore already established. The proposed floor plan on the right illustrates the only new element for which planning is sought, namely the proposed extension of A3 use to include a circa 7 metre by 2 metre area of wharf land to the rear of Unit 2. This 40 metre squared area is identifiable on the drawing as the area between the dashed red horizontal line and dashed black horizontal line above it. This modest extension of A3 use onto a circa 14 metre squared area of wharf land is considered to be acceptable, subject to compliance with relevant policies and guidance. Of particular relevance are development policies 1 and 6. Proposers considered to accord with these. Appearance, materials, form and siting of the aluminium bifold have already been approved under a previous permission. Aluminium is a high quality material and it is considered that bifold doors will be non-visually intrusive. The extension of A3 use onto this limited area of wharf land is considered an appropriate non-visually intrusive intensification of the use of this modern building, which is located amongst similar buildings, which would not be prominent and is compatible with the character. In terms of access, the placement of removable furniture has agreement from the Harbour Master, so it appears no capacity issues exist in terms of sharing this space. Also relevant is strategic policy FF relating to the historic environment. Noted that the draft Abu Dhabi Conservation Area Management Plan identifies that the wharf is included within the conservation area because of its historical significance, not that of its incumbent modern buildings. It's considered that the proposals would not harm the historic footprint of the old wharf, the wider conservation area, or 3 nearby listed buildings on Llandyfi Terrace. Also setting and significant views of which would not be harmed because the rear of Unit 2 is not easily visible from much of the conservation area or from these listed buildings. Also of relevance is strategic policy D relating to the natural environment. Given the proposal's nature and scale, it is considered unrealistic that suitable additional measures could be designed to make a meaningful enhancement proportionate to the proposal's scale and impact. When I say additional measures, a recent planning application by the authority, in that application, a preliminary ecological assessment was submitted, which proposed bird boxes to of the building as a whole. So it would not seem it'd be unrealistic to add to these interventions given the scale of this particular scheme. Natural Resources had no objection in relation to the environmental designations affecting the estuary. In terms of publicity, one objection was received. The objection related to past permissions regarding the removal of the public bench and the resulting A3 use of the covered area, which should have already been granted permission. So therefore, no significant weight is attached to these concerns. So to conclude, this proposal relating to part of what is prominent public building conforms with development policies 1 and 6 and strategic policy F. Proposal is compatible in all regards with the capacity and character of the site and locality within which it is located. It is not unduly prominent and it reflects a good sustainable design standard. The proposal will not adversely affect heritage assets, including the conservation area, nearby listed buildings, or their setting and significant views. The proposal is considered to be wholly acceptable and it is recommended that planning permission is granted subject to the conditions recommended. Diolch Cadeirydd.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, Gavin. Ydw i'n cynnig yr argymhelliad. Eilydd. Iawn, sylwi eisiau siarad? Ac oes, sawn ni sydd i bleidlais. Brian, sorry.
Can I ask a question about whether, because I didn't pick it up from the documents, whether there are any measures to constrain any drift from the area that may be designated further onto the wall?
Yes, there'll be a condition attached to the permission, which basically restricts the use to that 7 metre by 2 metre area. Obviously, if there's an exceedance of that area, then that would become a breach of condition.
Yeah, I was really thinking more about some sort of physical restraint, like a chain or something like that, because I could just envisage that somebody who has permission to put tables and chairs out there will try and increase it over time, just because that's the nature of business, isn't it? So the condition is great, but is that sufficient? And I don't know.
Should be on hwnna.
Wel, fyswn ni yn gallu gorfod, os fysa rhywun yn cwyno, gan bod yr amod yna fyswn ni yn gallu gorfodi hynna wedyn. Does ddim angen caniatâd cynllunio i reid bolant a chain i mynd yn ymwneud fel arall. Fyswn ni'n gallu gofyn yn mynd yn yr amod. Dwi'n siŵr os mae hynna bach yn dros ben llestri. Dwi'n meddwl gan bod yr amod yn cyfyngu'r lleoliad. Dwi'n meddwl mae hynna'n galluogi ni i ddilyn fyny ar unrhyw gwynion os mae hynny'n dod fewn. Felly mae hynna'n ddigon o ran.
And will the location be marked on the ground in some way? You know, like sometimes you see pins or whatever put into.
Dwi'n gallu dweud beth ni'n galw yn nodyn cyngor, fath advisory notes ar diwedd y penderfyniad.
Sorry, I've lost the interpretation again.
Ein mater i'r cyfo sir di hwnna, os o'n digwydd. Wel, wedi digwydd yn y bala.
Sorry, gyda, does ddim yn cyfieithu.
Yeah, this one's flashing red. Sorry about that.
That's a valid question.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dwi'n meddwl sy'n gallu reid, fyswn ni yn gallu ychwanegu, dwi'n meddwl bod reid ar amod yn wrach yn ormod, ond fyny ni ychwanegu strwythur ychwanegol wrach bydd ymgeisydd heb gynnwys yn y cais, ond fyswn ni yn gallu reid nodyn cyngor ar ddiwedd yr ymoda sydd yn deud, fysach chi yn gallu reid rhyw fatha, fyswn ni yn cynghori bod chi reid rhyw fatha bolad a chain yn un, neu siw bod yr ardal yn cael ei gadw'n daclus, ond sy'n rhaid nhw i dilyn hynna, jyst off y nodyn cyngor fysa fath advice. Os ydych chi'n hapus efo'r ychwanegu dyna fel pwyllgor, mae fyny chi.
So, ychwanegu mae ar y cei yn dydi, so dwi'n meddwl os yna gyfyngiadau roed rhywbeth parhaol ar y cei, os bynnag gan ystyried bod angen ar gyfer cerbydau yn y blaen, felly dwi'n safon os yn ymyrryd o roed yn byd parhaol ar y cei i hun.
Mae fyny chi fel pwyllgor, fyswn ni yn gallu ychwanegu nodyn cyngor, dos o ddim rhaid iddyn nhw ddilyn o, jyst cyngor fatha advisory ydi o. Ond mae, ie, Jen.
Mae llaw i fyny dipyn.
Mae change o'r dybio'n.
So is it just to add in respect to the actual condition that's where the way it's been worded, if it was a case that there was a breach and they did extend out, we would be able to do a breach of condition notice, and that condition would be suitable enough whereby with a breach of condition notice, there's no right of appeal, so they would have to comply with it, irrespective of just any bolts or whatever. So I'd be quite comfortable we'd be able to do that.
John?
Ie, da ni wedi pasio fo fel mae'r argymelliad yn barod. Ac mae'n le digon cil, a dwi'n eisiau gweud dwi'n nabod yr ardal dda iawn, a beth ola mae'n eisiau rhyw bolat, serwsau, arwyddion ag ati. Mae'r lle rhwydd i bobl gerdded. Ac os ydyn nhw'n rhoi bolat gati, fydd ddim access i unrhyw emergency vehicles a wedyn, achos mae o'n digon cil a beth bynnag. Felly, os ni'n gadael ar argymhelliad, ydy pasio ar argymhelliad, felly os ni'n cario ymlaen fel ydyn ni.
Iawn, diolch John. Edgar?
Ie, wel, sy'n eich dweud ei gwir, mae'n gwybod mae'n ganol o fewn, mae'n linell loch yn dangos yn y syniad, a wedyn swyddog strydodd Cyngor Gwynedd y Santilio efo rhywun sy'n mynd dros drwy. Ac rwan un efo strydodd yn tynnu nôl i mewn mae'n bethau. Iawn,
diolch yn fawr. Pwy arall eisiau dweud y beth? Oes, awn ni bleidlais felly pawb sydd o blaid. Be'r tai, chi ddangos os gwelwch chi dda. Neb yn erbyn. Iawn, diolch yn iawn chi. Dyna'r unig gais cynllunio sydd gennym ni. Mynd ymlaen o'n eich cytundebau adran 106 gwybodaeth yn fan hyn. Dalen 21 yn y Gymraeg. So rwy'n gwestiwn yn fan'na? 22. Ddim yn Gymraeg ac ysgadau na'r penderfynu arnynt. Dalen 4 yna rwy'n gwestiwn yn fan'na gerwyd? Y sylw? Dalen 25. Ac oes, dwi'n mynd ymlaen i penderfyniadau dirprwyedig, ein wedi caniatáu gwybodaeth. Dalen 27 a 28 a 29. 30 a 31. Yn hyn yna, sy'n dyn nhw'n dod i diwddariad ar gydymffurfiaeth. Sydd yn cymryd ar y dyddiad yna.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a few thoughts to add to the report. Obviously, we're no longer a team anymore. Alice has headed off to leave at the beginning of this month, and obviously we wish her the best of luck and hope to see her back in June 2025. In the meantime, with the lack of additional resource, we're going to continue with Prospero consultants that have actually been working with us for quite a while now. And we've got a good working relationship with them, and they'll be looking at the more complicated cases along with any enforcement notice appeals that we receive. Just a few other points that I wanted to raise it from the report. Just to point out that the current workload that we've seen so far this year, the number of cases that we received seems to be considerably higher than in previous years, with it being 72 obviously with Alice leaving as well, the workload is quite high at the moment, but we're still sort of progressing cases as best we can with the resources that we have. In terms of the enforcement notices, an additional 2 notices since I wrote the report have been served. The first one was at Gregorth, the extensions that members will probably recall from earlier on in the year. And another enforcement notice has been served in respect of the erection of sheds at Daynant. Going on to the appeals, to advise, obviously we have got a public inquiry that is going to take place later on this year, and we've had the date set now for that for the 10th of September. Obviously that will take up quite a lot of resources from the section. Just moving on to the Welsh Government indicators, it was encouraging to see that there was an improvement with the investigated indicator in Q4. Obviously further improvement is required for the positive indicator, and within the report I've tried to explain the reason why the number of days on that might be high. Then going on in relation to the notable cases that I've added on there. With Nanai, we haven't had the report yet back in terms of the costings and the way forward to progress that. What I'm intending to do, that I'm expecting that we're going to get this anytime soon. So my thought was that I will provide members with an update at a future committee, obviously if we receive that for December, because that would be the next update that I would be reporting to you. So if we do get anything sooner, I will report that to members at a future committee. But basically, it's just to conclude that obviously that the team were working extremely hard, despite what the indicators may suggest. I do personally, I don't think it provides a true reflection of what we actually do. And I will be reporting back to members in December. So in the meantime, I just respectfully request that members note the content of the report.
Iawn, diolch yn iawn, Jen. Sylw gen i. Neu gwestiwn. Dwi'n gweld dim byd. Sa rwy'n cynnig ar adroddiad, o'n i'n derbyn adroddiad. Dwi'n eilio. Pawb gydweld, ydych chi'n ddangos os gwelwch chi dda. Dwi'n hwnna'n mynd rhagol hefyd yn dydi. A dyna ni. Ar ôl i'r adroddiadau, yes? Mae'n ddwy apel fan'na wedi hefyd yn dos. Iawn, diolch yn fawr.
Rhan o'r gweithio yn dilyn yn does. So gawn ni chwarter y ddoriad, a wedyn mae Sian yn mynd yna link gwahanol dwi'n cymryd oes. I rei yn chi sy'n rhithio yna link gwahanol i'r cyfarfod y gweithio. A so chi'n dilyn hwnna. So chwarter awr, ie? So chwarter 11 gyda ni.
Iawn, diolch yn fawr.
If open my video, I can open door.